people, so you just
Right. Oh.
and
Wow.
it.
But me, my God, me, you can get. Oh gosh, you can get me like this Tinder swindler person. Like, text. I would take all my money. Yeah. I was reading that your love language can be linked to the things that were lacking in your childhood. And I found that very interesting, because my love language is words of affirmation. And it's true. I did not, like, I shower my children right now with words of affirmation, like, you're beautiful. I didn't hear that growing up. And it's a big thing for me in relationships. And like, if you don't tell me, it means nothing. You can buy me all the expensive, like, if I don't hear it,
It's nothing.
it means nothing. So I'm just curious, do you know your love language?
Yeah.
What's your love language?
Gifts.
Huh? Do you know yours, eh?
Yes, me too. It's a physical language, mostly hug.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Physical touch is a lot more than that. So
Yes.
Okay, interesting. And can you relate it to? Did you get a lot of physical touch when you're growing up in your childhood?
No.
Okay. So this is okay. What's yours?
Total physical. It's, my family is super like mental. They speak a lot.
Right.
They speak because Latinos we speak. We
Yeah.
speak. But since they also came from Spain, they are not very touch people. So now I touch. And during COVID, I was very crazy with COVID. Until I got it. I was like, now what? Now what? And actually I remember when I came to the office the first time as a volunteer, I was kissing. And everyone was like, and this one, I was like, now what? You know, you remember? I was kissing.
God, there was no COVID.
And then during COVID for me it was complicated, so now I touch. Even, for example, when we had something in the office and I'm under stress, I go downstairs and I touch her. Like,
Yeah.
let me touch you.
That's interesting.
And with Sarah, I'm touching.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So you mentioned that. I remembered I read something about people whose love language is touch during COVID. We were deprived. So they were saying that there's something called butterfly touch.
Okay.
Yes, it's like hugging,
Yourself.
but you do it yourself, yeah.
Oh.
Because you can't really do it with other people, so you just hug.
Right. Oh.
And
wow.
it sort of calms your sympathetic nerves, so just doing the taps. Yes.
For me, self-love means things that I do to appreciate myself.
So yeah, for me, self-love means knowing or identifying what makes me feel good about myself.
But for me means allow myself not to be perfect, not to be a superwoman, not to have energy, to look at myself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm tired, I'm done.
There are times when you don't always have positive thoughts about yourself. There are times you'll have those negative thoughts, or there are things you won't like about yourself. And I think it happens to all of us. And yeah, sometimes you are not able to realize that what you are thinking about yourself is not actually the truth. Like I may have a negative thought about myself, but it is not the actual truth. So I may think that I am a failure, but in reality I am not. I have just failed in one thing. So sometimes you have to catch yourself when you're having negative thoughts, and yeah, just make sure that it doesn't negatively affect everything in your life.
Like for me, what I do to appreciate myself, to show that I love myself, I love fashion. So I always buy clothes that are in fashion. Most of the time, even if I'm visually impaired, I sometimes take a mirror and say, oh, so you're beautiful. Yeah, I appreciate myself that I'm beautiful and I'm wonderful made. And I love everything that is in my body. Yes.
I have been taking myself on dates.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay.
It is scary because you're alone and you're in a place where everyone is either their tools or they're in a big crowd and you're sitting all alone. But yes, I'm able to do the things that I maybe feel like I can't do when I am on a date with someone else. So for instance, I think last month I took myself on a date and I didn't eat any food, I just had dessert.
Okay.
And that's not something I will do on a normal date. But because I was on my own, I was like, okay, no one is judging me.
Yeah.
I can do it. So I had like 3 bowls of ice cream around me. I was so full, but I felt so good.
Nice.
So,
Nice. But then why don't you feel you can do that on a date?
I think it's the perspective that people have, maybe on not just women, but you feel like someone is judging you based on how you're eating, how much you're eating. You're a girl, you shouldn't eat so much food.
Oh wow. Like you just said, like you go on a date, and I'm assuming you go on a date because you like this person.
Yeah.
And you want to get to know them. But then suddenly you forget who you are and we shift our focus from us and to them. And we forget to be ourselves.
Okay, sometimes I've gone on a date and I feel like this person that I'm on a date with is on another level that I am not yet. So I'm
But
just
by
trying
the
to
time
be...
you decided, let's hook up, or let's meet at Art Cafe,
Oh my gosh, I
Did
haven't.
you did you not know what type of person this is, or were you already impressed by this person? Like, because I'm assuming by the time 2 people decide to go out, it's because there's chemistry and both of you think that there's something worth investing in. And yeah, let's sit down face to face.
I forget that I am valuable and I am as important as they are in this date, and it is to the both of us, it is not all him. I think we forget sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And it's the whole process of catching ourselves. Like the same thing when something negative happens and you have to be conscious and be aware, oh, this is happening, I need to stop this, otherwise my entire day. Yeah. And if we don't catch ourselves, if we don't catch ourselves while we are people pleasing and we forget who we are, then it sets a trend. And you wonder, like, you forget who you are. Like, before this relationship, like, I was strong, I was vocal. Now I don't recognize I don't know who I am anymore because I've been so focused on this other person. I don't know who I am. And I stopped being fun. I mean, it's what happens in relationships. And I don't know at what point we become aware.